There's been a lot of chat about Brexit Britain and the dawn of a new age of trade with the Commonwealth. The Commonwealth is indeed marvellous. 52 countries, rapid growth and outpacing the Eurozone in terms of GDP. But the Brexiteers all have the light of distant horizons in their eyes, and the Foreign Secretary is even talking of a new yacht Britannia ruling the waves under the flag of global Britain. Reality check. Look at the map. Europe in blue is on our doorstep, and the Commonwealth in red is, well, thousands of miles away and scattered to the four winds. This talk of the UK entering another Elizabethan age is, I'm afraid, a smokescreen. Whitehall officials are already terming it Empire 2.0, and this feels like going backwards instead of forwards. Soon, no doubt, the International Trade Secretary Liam Fox will be setting sail for Mumbai in a wooden galleon, pennants flying, crying ho for the open seas. Very dashing. But we've already been able to trade with other countries, albeit as part of the EU. And cutting ourselves adrift from the bloc on our own doorstep is still an historic error. Yes, the Commonwealth is marvellous, but it won't begin to replace what we've voted to scrap.
Well, I'm a Brexiteer, and
we know.
I hide it so well, I know. But I'm not sitting here, you know, dreaming of British empires and all the rest of it. So I don't recognise that from your intro. I think that people are obsessing, for example, at the moment, about trade deals. They're obsessing about the single market. I think that Brexit provides an exciting opportunity to trade globally and also still to trade with the European Union. So no one's saying that we're not going to talk to the European Union and we're going to suddenly hit the European Union.
It could be just a very hard Brexit where we're just on WTO rules, which means very high tariffs on a lot of our industries.
And this is the thing, we don't know what the future's going to look like. And I just think there's so much negativity and just like, what's the word, pessimistic
I'm not pessimistic, I'm a realist. I mean, realist. The day after, Theresa May's first trip to the Commonwealth was to India. And I'm afraid that got off onto a very poor footing because they immediately run into ground over visas for Indians and students. And so it's actually not as easy as it looks, cutting a trade deal with a large economy, thousands of miles away.
Without a trade deal, by the way.
Rachel, well, I got a quote that I quite like, but Rachel, in your discussion, you talked about, about the Foreign Secretary. Well, you've got closer access to the Foreign Secretary than any of us. You're your brother. Why don't you tell him this?
Do you think I don't spend hours trying to explain all this? The logic of actually trading with a bloc on your doorstep rather than the ones that are thousands of miles away.
And what's his response? Because you've got the inside track.
He just says, get with the programme. It's going to be beautiful. Brexit Britain is a beautiful thing. I love the British people. It's all beautiful. You're a whinging Ramona.
See, you talk from a position of fear about the future.
I'm terrified.
I see it as this exciting, the Commonwealth we left in 1973 when we joined the common market, the one we left behind, it's a whole different beast now. It's an economic powerhouse that straddles every...
What is the Commonwealth?
Yes.
Yes, indeed.
52 countries, the GDP of 10.5 trillion.
4 times the population.
It spans 30 square million kilometres. It's huge.
Oh my God. And consider, look at the map I showed you, Carol.
It does matter. Years ago, people took the months to say that. It doesn't take long now to do.
Carol, I think, Rachel, I 100% agree with you on this one. I think we need to be realistic, and what Rachel said there is completely spot on.
Realistic?
Yeah.
Speaking of realistic, can we actually have a look at Boris in the new yacht Britannia?
Go on.
And this cost a lot. We could barely afford this.
Good luck.
Yes, June, you were saying. That's the New York Britannia. How long will he take for him to paddle off to Mumbai or Malaysia?
Really reassured with that.
Did you read what Fox actually said?
What did he say?
He said, we are a small island on the edge of Europe,
On
the
that little
decadal
boat we
leader
are.
of world trade. It is the government's ambition to reclaim that crown.
Keywords there were on the edge of Europe, not on the edge of Asia.
But can I just say, the difference, we've got to look at, these are completely different times. Number one, and if we're looking at Australia, China has beat us to it where Australia is concerned. China's beat us to it where Africa is concerned. And Canada's got America and Mexico. So the thing is, it's all well and good saying, yes, we're going to now start trading with the former Commonwealth, but they have other options.
Every country you mentioned there said they've said they want to trade with us. You know,
But not on the terms that we think we're going to get.
You
Let's
guys
be
scoff
honest.
at the empire. Anyone who believes that the nation,
Empire's over,
Britain,
Carol.
the nation...
Newsflash.
No.
Newsflash.
Thank God.
Anyone who believes that this
No, but when
nation
I
that
was a
built
kid-
the biggest empire in history is going to be alone and friendless because we walk away from the EU. You're nuts!
But you also mustn't forget the history. You mustn't forget the history behind the
Don't forget the history of the
empire
Commonwealth,
either.
because they have
Do
huge
not
bonds
think
with
we-
us.
Well,
Huge bonds with
there's
us.
a lot of pain that's also associated with that. So
countries like Canada, Australia, New Zealand, those guys fought alongside ours in 2 world wars.
Hang on a minute.
They have a
I
bond.
want to ask
about
Michelle. I want to ask Michelle.
Yes.
You don't agree with this, do you? This sort of...
What, you
I mean,
don't agree with the
you're a
Commonwealth as
Brexiteer, but you
Yeah.
don't believe this
Australia,
romantic illusion about
not-
what
it's not
Britain's
an
doing.
illusion,
No,
Greg, it happened.
I'm not asking you. I'm asking Michelle.
I have an optimistic outlook. I think that 90% of the economic
Of the growth
growth
of the
comes
global
from
is outside,
outside of the European Union. I think we're doing less trade with the European Union. I do share
We're still
your...
doing 55% of our trade with the European
Yeah, so I
Union.
share your common sense approach in terms of it's easier to trade with people that geographically you're located closer to, but then you've just been telling me all that you're in support of Scotland leaving the UK. So I don't, there is
we're
no
not
closer.
saying we're in support of it. We're saying we'd understand it if they chose to.
And we're not walking away from the EU. We're still going to trade with
All
them.
I'm
We're going to
saying
trade
is
with the rest of the world.
I'm
and the
with
Commonwealth.
Rachel. I don't think it's going to be as easy as they think it is
No,
because all these countries that they're mentioning
Yes.
have other options.
Listen,
Michelle-
whether
Michelle-
Carol's right or
what I'm
Michelle
doing-
is right, what I'm right, what Greg and I, and you, is that the EU keeps saying, whatever the deal, you will get a worse deal after your membership expires
But they
than
would say-
while
of
you're
course
member.
they would say
to
that.
us.
Oh, Carol, you think they're just bluffing?
No, I don't. I think they will give us the worst possible deal they can.
Correct.
But we have the rest of the world to go at.
Yes,
we have
and
the
we can
Commonwealth
have a free,
and the rest of
how
the
that
and
goes.
great, and we're going to have a free trade, free movement of people with, guess where? Australia. I mean, just look at
and
the
other
globe
50,
sometimes.
And the other 52 countries in the Commonwealth.
sorry.
Well, I go every year to Uganda. I sometimes go twice a year. I do a lot of work with them.
Do
So
you
I've
have
got-
Uganda discussions?
I would not want to swap Uganda for, say, France for buying and selling. I mean, seriously, I think you are talking about a different view. Parts of the Commonwealth are still annoyed that we left in the first place, that we went into the EU. They're not going to rush back to do trade
Yes,
with
they
us.
are. They
They'll
have
do
bonds with us.
what's in their interest. Bonds, I
Trading
don't believe.
Trading with us is in their interest.
Did you say bombs or bonds?
bonds?
She's saying, but I'm saying the bonds aren't as good as you think they are.
Well, I thought all the countries you mentioned, Australia, New Zealand, Canada, they've already said they want to trade with us. They said they were the first people to come out and say so.
You've got to watch what the deal is.
Yeah.
You've got to look at what the deal is. At the moment, we have a deal to trade across Europe. We're going to lose that. It's going to become much harder.
Europe is
We've got
24
to
miles
replace it.
away.
Keep on saying we're going
Actually,
to
we're
lose
in
the deal
Europe.
with you. Do you really think we're going to lose our deal with Germany, with the cars? Do you really
Yes,
think we're
and
going
I
to
think
lose
we're
our
going to
deal with
have,
France?
and I think we're going to have huge customs depots,
Yeah,
and
and
we're going to
tariffs.
have
Their
lorries
economies will
backed
go
up
down
in
the
our
toilet.
ports.
If they don't sell to us, their economies are going to go down the toilet.
No,
Why would they do that?
Because they've got 20-odd other European
Yeah.
countries to sell to.
How about
We-
that,
Why
Carol?
We
not?
haven't.
Yeah, Romania, that's a huge market.
Why don't we wait and see and try and proceed with optimism and positivity
Yes.
and
All right.
entrepreneurial spirit and see what happens? That's my advice.
And what happens when you're wrong?
Well, I don't
Well,
know.
the thing
That's
is,
what
if we're
it
gonna
is.
Greg,
what
that's
happens?
the- that's our best hope.
But in any business, you work out and say, what are the chances of doing this? What are the chances of doing that?
Well, as we
Now,
saw,
what-
they,
and
don't
you
even, they
do
haven't
try.
even done a review to see what happens. If
But what
that
does being
doesn't-
wrong
we don't
mean?
get it
What
done.
you
Yes,
think that we're
that's
going to
what
be...
David Davis
Yeah.
said. We don't even
Yeah,
know.
we
Yeah,
don't
what
even
No,
know.
I think suddenly we will do far less trade and we will therefore be in economic difficulties. That's
And
the
you
risk.
Brexiteers haven't done any economic modelling as to the future, whatever the deal.
Yeah.
And the trouble is, you Remainers don't know what's going to happen any more than we do. We're just saying we have hope for it.
No,
one actually
what we're
knows,
saying
but
is
I have huge hope.
the risk is too great.
That's what we're saying.
The point.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
But it's done and it's happened, so let's move on with positivity.
Okay.